Hi there, welcome to another video class. Today is Friday and today we are gonna work quite a few things. Let me tell you that I've been thinking, what can I do to help you at home? Homeworks are confusing. New topics, not so clear. What can I do to help you? What can you do to help yourself? Okay, first let's go over the rules. The first one, get your materials ready. If you get your materials ready before class, you won't have to stand up and get the class interrupted. Another rule is think and speak in English. You sit in front of your screen, ready to watch the video class. Stay there, thinking in English. Listen carefully, try to understand what I tell you. Pay attention, look at the examples, the pictures, check the information in the book, but you have to think in English. Okay? Think and speak in English. And the last thing, do not interrupt the class. I mean, don't stop watching to go to the restroom or to go drink water or to talk to your brothers or sisters. Please, no. Try to concentrate, and if you don't understand something, play the video again. Repeat the class. Okay? I have a list of the things we are gonna do today. It is fifth grade. Well, listen to what the plan is for today. First, we will be practicing verb tenses and tag questions. Okay? Then we will learn a new topic. Finally, we'll go over common mistakes that students do when following instructions. That's today's plan. Are you ready? You are ready, aren't you? Good. In that case, let's start with our review. I want to show you these pictures of book activities, homework pages. I want to show you these examples, but I want you and I to be very respectful. There are mistakes that I want you to pay attention to, but I'm not saying who each activity belongs to. I'm not saying names. I just want to point out some mistakes that students make when they have to answer activities in the book. Okay? So, take a look at this picture. I need you to please read the instructions with me. It says, turn each statement into a question using a tag question. The tag questions might be affirmative or negative. Okay, let's read that again. Turn each statement into a question using a tag question. First thing, do we understand what they are saying in the instructions? Do we understand what they want us to do? It says, turn each statement into a question. First thing, what is a statement? A statement is a sentence. Oh, so they're saying, turn each sentence into a question. Okay, that's easier now. Number one, for example, they give you the statement. What's another word for statement? Sentence. Statement, sentence, same thing. They're synonyms. Okay, so instructions say turn each statement into a question using a tag question. Does it say write one word? Does it say copy the sentence? Does it say why? It says to turn it. It says to change it from sentence to question. And look at this picture. Do you think this student got the instructions clear? Now it says, using a tag question. Do you remember what a tag question is? A tag question, it's a little question at the end of a statement, at the end of a sentence. So, let's go back. First, we have a sentence or statement. Instruction says to change this into a question. First the sentence, then we need to make it a question. But not only a regular question, we need to have a tag question. Tag question. If you don't remember that, you have two options. Now, three options. Watch the video for tag questions again, the video class. That's option number one. Option number two would be check your book for information, examples, notes. Or possibility number three, option number three, investigate about it. Okay? But please, first thing, you need to understand instructions. If you don't understand instructions, your answers will be incorrect because you don't know what you have to do. Okay? Now, we don't need to check the answers. If I don't see sentences, it's incorrect because my if I don't see questions, then it is incorrect because instructions said write questions. Okay? Yeah. Let's look at another example. Here's another example of incorrect instruction following. It says, read the sentences, underline the relative clause. Read the sentences. Okay, this person, let's say they did. Underline the relative clause. Look what is underlined. I remember in the video class for relative clauses, I explained, please underline the clause, the relative clause. Relative clauses are like another predicate. And then I remember I mentioned, do not only underline one word. No, it is the complete piece of information. But look at the examples. Now, if you look on top of that same page, it says the information there helps you to know what is a clause. Relative clauses are used to give additional information about someone or something. Relative clauses are formed by relative pronouns like who, whose, that, where, when. So, now we read this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this 6 words are relative pronouns. Go to the activity and tell me. Instruction says underline the relative pronouns or the relative clauses. relative clauses. So why did you underline the relative pronouns? Okay, now the last thing that I want to show you is, look at this. Look at this picture. It's in the same page. It is about relative clauses, but I'm not paying attention if the activity is correct or not. I'm paying attention first to check. This is driving me crazy. This is my right, but it's your left. And this is my left, but it's your right. Okay. Relax and keep going. Now, in this activity, instructions. Please help me with instructions. Go. Match the relative clause to the sentence that it best describes. So, you have sentence and clause. Sentence, 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 and you have some clauses to match the correct one. Okay? Now, I helped you in the video and I mentioned, how am I gonna do this? I don't have a marker, but okay, let's go to whose. I need to write this because, ouch, whose. Do you know what that is? Do we understand this word? Okay, another one is where. Do we know what it refers to? The next one, that. Let me tell you, one student in one class, simple, this person, or when it was time to write sentences using relative clauses, this person used that in all the sentences. Come on. Really? Okay. The next one is who. Another one is when. Is that it? I think that's it. That, where, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one am I missing? That. Okay. That's it, I think. Now, the first word refers to belongings, property. Whose notebook is this? Is it Miranda's notebook? Is it Ara's notebook? Yes. Whose notebook is this? Ara's. When we see the word whose, we're talking about property. Okay? If I ask you, whose car is the red one in the parking lot? That is Teacher Alex's car. Okay? We can use whose when talking about people. We can use whose when talking about things. Computer. That's my picture of a computer. And the mouse and, okay? We can use whose when talking about animals. Let's say cat. Okay? Whose, because we can say, for instance, about animals, whose whiskers are longer? My cat's whiskers. Okay? Or we can use whose if we're talking about things. Whose cup is this one? It's the black markers. Okay. you know? Now, where? December, I'm talking about time, a month, some time period. December is the month where I celebrate. Is that correct? Where? Can we talk about time when we use the word where? Where is about place. It refers to place or places. Piccolo is the school where English teachers are so nice to students. Okay, Piccolo is the school where we celebrate Mother's Day nicely. Next one, that. That, if you see here, we're not saying what. No. In this topic, in this case, that is for things. You can also use it for people, animals, but we have very careful not to use that for everything. Come on, okay? Who Who speaks English in your house? My notebook. Who finished the homework? My cat. Is that correct? No, because every time we use the word who, we refer to people. One person or two people or people. We refer to people. My television is the one who. What? My television is the one who? My television is a person? No. My television is a thing. Excuse, that's my doorbell. Just a minute. And finally, when. When refers to time. Minutes, hours, wait a minute, don't open the door. Minutes, hours, days, months, years, time. Well, today's topic is future. Future has more than one form. To talk about future, we can use these forms. One of them is simple future. Another future form is future progressive, and another one is future perfect. Those are three different ways, three different forms in which we can express future actions. Plus, in each one of these forms, we can ask questions. Now, let's start with the simple future form. Ready? Okay, so we'll start with simple future, and in the book they're giving us the word will. That's the one we will use. Every time you see the word will in a sentence, it is telling you they're using future tense. So I'll go back to the basic sentence structure. Remember, we mentioned this before. It is necessary to write sentences that have subject and predicate. It is very important that we identify the subject and the predicate in the sentences we read. It is extremely important that we identify the tense, the verb tense that they are using in the sentence. Sometimes we have more verbs, more than one, but we need to identify identify which verb is in action. Okay? Now, in the book, this page is finished, but I'm just gonna take one example because this is a review. Okay, it says, sorry, I forgot what it said. What is the subject in this sentence? Richard. We are talking about Richard. Now, what is Richard doing? Or what are we saying about Richard? He likes dinosaurs. Now, subject predicate. Remember, the verb we are using is in the predicate. We are going to find it in the predicate. Which verb is talking about what Richard does, likes? Now, when we see this letter, that means that verb is in present. Nothing or s means present. This sentence is in present. Richard likes dinosaurs. In the book, in this activity, its instructions said to read the sentence and say what will happen. This is something very general. Based on this information, what will happen? So it says, Richard likes dinosaurs. If Richard likes dinosaurs, what will happen? What will he do? Okay, so, well, something very simple. We can say Richard will, because that's the formula, that's the grammar. Richard will go to the museum. To the museum. That's a museum. Okay. Because for simple future, the grammar rule is will plus the verb in its base form. Base means normal, regular verb, no changes. Okay? That is simple future. Now, okay, still in future, now let's review future progressive. Future progressive is action that will happen in the future time, but it will be in progress for a certain time. For example, if you're talking about a class that will take place tomorrow and you want to mention something that will be happening in that class for 1 hour, 2 hours, then you would use future progressive. It is action that will keep on going for a certain period of time. For example, for future progressive, I wrote down the formula, the grammar rule, which is will plus be plus verb with ing form. Will be something with ing. Again, basic structure. When you read, when you write, we need to identify subject and predicate. And in the predicate is where we have the verb. Oh, look, in this tense, we have 3 words in the verb. Yes, you might be thinking, what? The verb is sing, but all this combination of words and changes, that's the verb. Now, our example is, who's the subject? They. What are we saying about they? About they? Will be singing. Are we using the right formula? Let's see. Will, be, and a verb with an ing ending. So this is correct. They will be singing at the concert. Like I said, this action will continue, continue and go on and on and on during the concert. That is future progressive. Okay? The next future form is future perfect. The rule says for future perfect we have will have plus past participle, verb in past participle. Now, for this form of the verbs, the only way is to memorize a list. So I'm thinking about giving you a list of verbs for you to memorize. Okay, now we use this future perfect form to say that something will have been completed by a specific time. That might be confusing, but look at my sentence here. Subject, we. Predicate, all this. We will have finished. That is our grammar structure. I'm not using blue, I'm using a different color. This is this grammar structure. We will have finished the topic. We will have finished this topic by the end of the class. So, we will have finished the topic by the end of the class. What I'm saying here is by the end of this class, that's in the future, in about 10 more minutes, this topic will be complete. That is when we use future perfect. I'll read it again. We will have finished the topic by the end of the class. Okay, after that super long review of all future forms, we need to go to page 96. 96 is one of the pages for future tenses review. This one is really simple, but what I need you to pay attention to is first read instructions and make sure you understand them. Analyze what you read. Mark what they're asking you to do. Then, when you read the sentences, identify. Are they using simple future? Are they giving general information in the future? Or is it future progressive? Is it actions in the future that will continue happening for a period of time? It'll continue, go on, go on, go on? Or is it future perfect? Are they saying that something will be finished or will be done by a specific time in the future? You see the difference? Okay, try. Okay, that's on page 96. Then on page 97, very simple. I need you to read the information, analyze it, and finish the activity, which is really, really short and easy. And finally, for page 98, 3 pages. Okay, for page 98, also read the information there and follow the instructions. This is reading comprehension, but it's about future. Okay? Well, class, good luck. Thank you for coming to class today. See you. Bye-bye.